All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. On this video, I want to talk about content marketing. Content marketing. When you hear those two words together, what comes to your mind as a layman, someone who's not really familiar with the internet world, the internet business world? What exactly comes to your mind when I say, okay, so we're going to do some content marketing today? What are you ready for? All right, do you know what that is? First of all, understand this. Content. There's a thing called content creation. And that's done by who? Right. It's done by you. So once you create the content, in order for me, the person on the outside, to access it, you have to market that. Right? It's a process that you need to be able to follow when you begin to start this journey. Because it is a journey, right? It's you go from not knowing what to do or how to do it to actually doing it and being effective, generating a profit from it, right? Now, is that going to take a week? Is that going to take a month? Is that going to take a year? You know, it might take years like it did me. It took me years to get the understanding that I need. Now, am I slow? I could be, but I am older, right? So a lot of the things that we learn as older people, it may, if you don't really have the interest, you know, it may take us a little bit longer. But if you do have the interest, it's not a bad thing. It's just a thing, right? So always make certain that you're interested in what it is that you're trying to create content about. Because if I have you create content about what I do, chances are very good that it's not going to keep your interest. And if it doesn't keep your interest, you're probably not going to put as much effort into actually viewing or seeing what the end result is, right? Which is absolutely necessary. Absolutely necessary. So you have to decide that you're going to do something. You have to create the content. You have to market the content, which is where we are right now. So as you're marketing your content, you put your content on different platforms. What's a platform? Well, you have social media platforms, which are like Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, probably where you're viewing this right now. And then you have your platforms, which is blogs, podcasts, videos, YouTube, those type of things, right? So you want to put your content on all those. You want to think in terms of reaching the entire world initially. And the entire world will show you that they're not interested in what you're doing, right? But specific people are. So as you are able to identify who those specific people are, then you're able to have a better ROI or return on your investment, or reach more people who are interested in what it is that you're doing. Think about this. Let's say you're a golf ball creator. Golf ball. A lot of people play golf, right? Why would you market your information to baseball players or basketball players? Because they're not interested in what you do. Now, you may have people on the teams that do golf. You probably do. But that would not be your target audience. Your target audience would be people in line with what it is that you're creating, right? It's not rocket science. It's ABC, right? Real simple to understand, which is why I like sharing this information with people who are beginners, because you can catch people where they are, and that could be from the beginning stages. That a lot of people are actually 2 or 3 years in. They're just not getting the results that they would like to get. And you can catch people who are already generating a profit. And that you just may know something or have a system that helps grow their business from $3,000 a month to $10,000 a month, right? All that's available today. You have people making millions of dollars per month. MONTH, 30 days. You may not be that type of person. You may not aspire for that. But if you're making $1,000 a month, that can change your life. That's not gonna allow you to, retire and do nothing. but it's going to position you in a way that you can pay things off, you can reinvest into your system, and you can get better at what you're doing, because now hey, this works. I see this works. So that's what you want to do. And as you're creating your content to market, you want to kind of put things in there about who you are, how to contact you, some of the other things that you've done, and you'll get better at that as you go from creating your first piece of content till you create your 10th or your 20th. You have to know that you get better with time. That's an old cliche, but it's an actual fact. You get better with time as long as you're doing what it takes. When I say that, if you create let's say you're writing a blog post. If you create a blog post today, and you create a blog post 2 days from now, and you don't create another blog post for 30 days, you're not going to be effective with what you're doing. So you also have to create what I call a lifestyle business or a lifestyle change. Because if you think about what you do day to day, what you do when you get off work. When you get off work, okay, if you just go home and watch TV for 4 or 5 hours and, drink beer or whatever it is you drink, or maybe just eat a lot, whatever it is that you're doing, you have to understand this. That's going to cause you to want to continue to do that. And you will continue to do that because it will feel good to you. You will feel comfortable doing that. And when someone suggests that you do something else, that's going to irritate you. Yes, it's going to irritate you. Now, if you suggest to yourself, I should be doing something else. I shouldn't just be sitting around here, doing nothing. And then you could be motivated to stick to what you decide to do outside of that 9 to 5, right? The old saying is you make a living from 9 to 5, and you make a life from 5 to 9. In other words, you become successful from 5 to 9. When you get off that window right there, what you do at that time is the most valuable window that you're going to have in a 24-hour day period. Because if you're doing nothing there, you're not growing anything. You're not getting better at anything. That's a question I like to ask people. What are you doing right now? What are you working on right now to get better at? Answer that. What are you doing right now to get better at? And if that answer is nothing, guess what you're getting better at? Nothing. That's right. That's not life. You're just sitting around waiting for someone to send you a situation or a circumstance so that you can react to it. That's not life, ladies and gentlemen. Life is when you're actually participating in what it is that you want. You're doing the work to get what you want. That way you have a reason to be upset when you don't get it. Right? You got a reason to be mad when you came in second instead of first place. Right? Because you put in the work. You are supposed to win. Now, are you going to win all the time? No. Is it necessary to win all the time? Absolutely not. But it is necessary that you participate. This is your life. Not my life, your life. You must be a participant actively in your own life. And that means branding yourself too. When you market information that you've created, you start to brand who you are, because people start to know who you are and they're able to follow you. Now, initially, after you're marketing that content that you created, your mind is probably really not focused on the branding part, because there's a lot of moving parts that you need to consciously be aware of. But as you go from one level to the next, and to the next, and to the next, you'll start to acquire and bring into your system other things that actually benefit the system. Like one of the things I do with, I have an audio podcast also, and one of the things I do with that is I'm able to interview people on different levels, wherever they are. I'm able to interview them, whether they have a business, whether they want to start a business, whether they just want to answer questions that I have, because I have a list of questions that I like to ask people who don't have businesses and don't have anything really to talk about, but would like to, get a feel of how that feels, right? That's one of the things I love to do because I love helping people or introducing people to things that they don't normally do. Because there's a big old world outside of where you are. Like say, if you live in, let's say, Texas, and you're 35, maybe 40, and you've only been to like 2 states, or 3 states, or 5 states, the world is much larger than that, you know? And the way you view things, your perception of things, come from that little limited dynamic that you've been privy to, right? Now, there are some people who've never been out of one state, but there are people who've been all over the world 2 or 3 times. So their perspective and their understanding of things will be very different than yours with only 5 states or 1 state. Wouldn't you say? Well, whether you would say or not, it's absolutely true. It's like if you grew up in a middle class, let's say a middle class neighborhood, middle class being $100,000 a year and below, I guess. And I put you in an environment where these people are used to making $5 million a year. The way they live, the things they do, the day to day, it's going to be very different than the people who make $100,000, right? And if I take you to people who make $20,000, the way they do things, the day to day, will be very different. So you'll feel a certain kind of way being in that environment because that's their world. It's not necessarily good or bad, but it's their world. But there is so much more that's available to you when you decide to, take advantage of, opportunities that come your way. Because as you're marketing your content, opportunities will begin to come your way. How? You may ask. Well, if I read your content and I like it, I'm going to like it. And I'm going to share it with someone, right? You get enough of those likes and enough of those shares, and people it starts to register with Google, and it starts to register with people who are looking for people that do that type of thing, right? Because there are people who are looking to hire people to do things all the time. So if they see your content and they see your information, then they're able to make a decision and say, hey, we're going to bring Larry James in, have him speak to our group. And when you contact Larry James, what is he going to say? He's going to say, okay, what's your budget? Because I'm not coming for free. But there is a number, right? And depending on your level of confidence or your expertise wherever you are, right? Let's say I charge you $1,000 an hour. $1,000 an hour? Okay, we had a budget for $2,000 an hour. Am I going to be upset? Nope. I made $1,000 speaking. But the next time I come back, I'm going to charge you that $2,000. Right? That's how it goes. And you make that call, but you have to market yourself and your content. And once you start to do that, then you are on your way. We'll see you on the next video.